Hey guys, what's going on? It is Jason Everett, and I am hanging out with the fun, bubbly, effervescent Evelyn. Good to see you today, Evelyn. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
So good to hang out with you. And I've been talking with Doug, my partner in crime, and he's been telling me like crazy, awesome things about what you've been doing. Because when you first came in and started working with us, like, and I'll let you tell more of the story, but like, if I'm really like just what you said to me is like you were on the verge of maybe even closing the door of your salon. Yes.
Yes.
Right? So you were in that spot and like you just had this crazy amount of growth. And Doug was like, you got to get on the phone with Evelyn because she's just done incredible stuff. Like you're up 85% in your retail and you just had like crazy leaps and bounds, and you personally and your staff's growing. All these crazy things are happening. And I want to take a little bit and let people kind of hear it from your own perspective on some of the awesome things that have happened since it's been November, right? So it's been about 6-7 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's a good amount of time to make a journey, but you've implemented a lot. So thank you so much for being willing to do this and share your story. I'm really grateful.
Well, thank you for letting me. I love sharing this. I really do. It's super.
Well, and if it only helps one other salon owner, feel like they're not alone in this battle, and like that day that they've questioned, like, should I even be here and doing this thing? Like if it helps that one salon owner, totally worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. That is like one of my passions. I
Cool.
love.
Amazing. So Evelyn, please, first of all, tell us what your salon is called. Tell us where your salon is located, how long you've been around. Because you've been in the business a few years, if you're willing to say, yeah?
Just a few. So my salon is the Evelyn Kershaw Salon. I have been in the Plano area.
In Texas, Plano, Texas, right?
Plano, Texas, 30 years I have been cutting hair. It's amazing to think that.
Yep.
Salon owner with my own retail space for 15 years of that. But even prior to all that, I've been in the industry my whole life. My mom retired after 52 years of doing hair.
Crazy. So 52 years, your mom, you've been in for 30, you've owned your own salon for 15 years. So, I mean, look, out of all that, like, when you think about it, it's like, why would you call up me? I mean, like, you're like, okay, there's this guy, Jason and Doug, they're doing some training, all this stuff. I mean, you've been around for a lot of years. Like, what was going on? You've already kind of said you were kind of on the edge of trying to figure out what to do. Like, should I, stay or should I go now kind of thing? Like, what was it that was going on in your space at that time? Like, what was happening in your life that you said I needed to reach out and have a conversation?
Yeah, well, I was in a really deep, dark place during that time. My mom's, all those years being with my mom, years of me doing hair, having the salon for 15 years, and I was in a place where I couldn't pay rent. And I was done. 15 years of this stress. I mean, you'd expect kind of things like that early on when you're learning or whatever, but after 15 years.
So question, was it like you'd been struggling for 15 years, or like had some good years, some bad years, and then like this year happened to be a down year?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, really, if I got honest with myself, it was a struggle for the whole thing. But there was some better years. There were some, but not after 15 years. I thought it'd be past all that like real hill and valley and all the big stress. And, this was supposed to be something I retired on. We don't have 401ks. We don't have benefit as hairdressers, right? Unless you're smart enough to know to go do it yourself.
Right. So like you got to retire on this business, and here it is 15 years later, still struggling.
Yes. Yeah. Losing money to the point where I'm like, I couldn't pay rent that month. And it was a lot of like crazy little things that built up to it. I can't really pinpoint on just one thing.
Yeah. You didn't have a walkout or anything crazy. It was just painful. It was just stressful, right?
I had gone through all that. I thought I've had walkouts. You name it. I was prepared for everything I had seen my whole life.
Yeah.
Being at my mom's salon, right? I knew the things that I was going to do different, so I didn't have those kind of things happen to me, and I still wasn't getting it right.
So what's it been like? I mean, you've been with us, like you said, since so for about 7-8 months, and you've talked about the impact because you've learned a lot, you've done a lot. Like what's been the impact on you personally? What's been the impact on you professionally? Like, tell me about what's your life like now. What kind of things are awesome that are happening for you?
There's so many. It's like I almost have a hard time kind of gathering all my thoughts. So I hope I make sense when I say, but I think the biggest thing for me is that I know that I'll never be there again. Hills and valleys, but my valley should never be, unless I quit doing everything you have taught me.
Right.
My valley should never be that deep again to the point where I feel like I can't get myself out of it.
And so why do you think that is, right? Like, why do you think you'll never go down that valley again? Because we'll talk about your numbers and some crazy stuff, but like, why do you think you're not going to have that big bottom out the same way that you've had it before?
Well, because you can't undo what you know, right? You can't not, once you know it, you can't not know it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
like that. It's in your brain. You know it now, and it's moving.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so it's just security to me. It's like, if unless I stop doing all this, I should never be there again, because we are tracking everything. We're watching it. I mean, there's
so good.
Yeah.
So what have been some of the things that you've used, like the frameworks that we use? What are the things that, like, okay, because there's a lot, right? It's like a big buffet, and you can kind of eat anything you want at the buffet, all these different things that are helpful for you. What are the ones that you're like, oh man, I grabbed this one, it was incredible, this one was incredible? What are the tools that are like, have made the biggest difference inside your salon that have kept you in this like plateau that, in a good way, like you've stayed there and not dipped out?
Okay. So there's been a lot of little great things, one of the things that was just blows my mind. So we have a really great turnaround now of new associates.
Yeah.
So I would schedule classes. We would go teach. I mean, I'm all about mentorship and empowerment and all that. I love doing all that. And I was really having an issue. And I even told Doug, I'm like, I would go and speak, and I just wouldn't get the return like I used to. And I thought that I couldn't connect with these young new stylists, right? So I started sending my younger stylists. Maybe that was part of the problem. Well, I watched one of the webinars that talked about cookie drops. We started dropping cookies off.
Yeah, cookie drops, like a simple thing like cookie drops at schools, and all of a sudden the relationships change, yeah?
Blows my mind. So now it like reinforced everything we're doing. So not like last week, Tony and Guy Academy, who I have not been able to like get a relationship with them. We've dropped cookies off to them like over St. Patrick's Day, over Easter. There was like 3 holidays that we were able to just kind of send theme cookies and a balloon and a little sign with our info, dropped it off in the break room. And now all of a sudden, Tony and Guy wants a tour of the salon. They came through my salon. The girls sit down and they're like, yeah, remember when you came and dropped cookies off? Like,
right, a little food bribe goes a long way, doesn't it?
Amazing. So all those little tricks have been amazing results that we've gotten from them.
Cool. So it's not necessarily like a big strategy shift. It's like little tiny things that make a huge difference.
The clearer level system. We have a mentorship program, a level system. I mean, I thought it was very sophisticated and great, but we never attached money to it. It was all about experience and how much training you got. I kind of have this real purist mindset. I want people to get what they're paying for. And, so we did a lot of that, but I never attached money to it, ever.
Yeah. So now you have a more secure system and you can start building that. What about in your one-on-one meetings? I think you've said to me before that there's some things you've changed in your one-on-one meetings. Like, what are your one-on-one meetings like now versus for 15 years? What were they like?
Well, talking about attaching money, right? So now we're holding all the stylists now have like a goal to meet. So if they want to move up to their level. So we have like your associate goes from their first 6 months of just kind of assistant type training to a bronze level where they're a little more on the floor. They're more just apprenticing. So kind of part of the associate program.
Yeah.
But they can touch clients and make some money. And, they want to go from there to the silver level, right? Mm-hmm. They have to meet a certain weekly goal and a certain percentage of RTS before they can be considered to do that, right? So it's not just about your great personality and your talent, Yeah,
how long you've been here and all those things. It's like actually attached to their goals. So in your one-on-one meeting now, you're coaching people to those goals and to those levels and moving that all that forward.
Goal setting with them has been so fun. And it kind of took us probably about 3 months to really understand. I mean, huge whiteboard. We took one of the walls in my office and just covered it in dry erase board.
Nice.
Yeah. So we put all the girls' names up and, what they're doing weekly. We'll do monthly stats up there so they can see what the month is. And then we do it weekly and we sit down and we set goals with them. And we even have the whole salon. So we even have the whole salon because
like overall, yep.
Everybody. So yeah.
So what actions, I mean, you kind of talked about a little bit of this, but like what things did you have to do? Because I mean, I'm sure you were doing things before. It's not like we magically added hours in life to your week and stuff like that. but what were some of the actions that you had to take, that you went out of your way, implemented, and started making a change to what you were, where you're spending your time, that made a really big difference for you?
Well, I always believe you start with yourself, right? So I kind of started, first of all, checking myself, checking my mindset, how I was receiving all the information, taking, I'm kind of one person, you give me a little information, I got to kind of move on it right away, and then I'll come back, give me some more, let me move on. That's how I learn. And so really it was just immediately putting things into action.
Yeah, just taking actions. Yeah.
Yes, immediately, not hesitating. And I think that's why we've had such successes so quickly.
Yeah, you're not like sitting and thinking about it for 3 months trying to figure out what to do. You're like, just, okay, learned it, do it, learned it, do it. Yeah.
And being super, super honest and authentic with my staff. Like really telling, I told them how bad we were, because none of them knew, right? You take it all on yourself.
Yeah, you're not going to tell them you're about to close the door. Like, what would that do?
Exactly.
Max panic.
Right. And then tell them, okay, here's where we are now. And, I've gotten a new coach. And, and all these years, it's like, why did I think I didn't need one? It's like, I did it for my children. I've always hired them coaches. And why don't we hire coaches as business owners, as salon owners?
Well, so just question, why do you think most business owners don't get a coach? Why do you think? Why didn't you have one for so many years?
I guess I didn't realize there were some out there, for one,
Helpful.
I've seen life coaches, I've seen that kind of stuff, but a true industry, your industry focused, understands, and I might be wrong about this, but I've always said there's just something a little bit different about our industry. Like, you just have to understand the mindset of our industry. You have to understand how, it's like.
It's a unique, look, in the salon and beauty industry, it's a unique breed of people that you've got to understand backwards and forwards. And it is its own beast. It's not the same conversation as talking to investment bankers on Wall Street. It's not the same conversation. So I totally agree with you. And fortunately, you're my kind of crazy. It's like, we're creative people that love helping, mentoring, coaching, and training. But sometimes the numbers get fuzzy or the other details get a little foggy, and you're like, it's okay. But that can be detrimental to the business, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and you know what? You got to really put pride aside, right? Yeah. So there was a lot of things I was doing right, and it was nice to get confirmation. I already had a mentorship program. I already had some of that. So that was great to hear that, right? And there was a part of me that actually wanted y'all to go slap my hand and go, this is what you're doing wrong, fix it, So then there was a part of me that was disappointed that there wasn't.
You were mad we weren't beating you with a stick. Okay. Yeah. I'll let Doug know to let the beatings continue.
Right, exactly.
But it's not that way, right? We don't really beat you up. That's not the point.
What was one of the hardest things for me personally too was wins. Doug fought with me for a while for me to recognize when I had a win.
Yeah.
It's like, we need that. We're salon owners, we're people, with dreams and a lot of stuff on our plate. And when you're desperate, like at the point I was in, the good news was I was so broken that I was open to just about anything, thank goodness that the right person stepped into that place, the right company. And it was like, you have to put your pride aside, and know that you don't know everything, and you could improve. So that's a big thing. It's hard for people, especially when you're a salon owner, right? Because success.
Well, you're responsible for everything, and people lean on you. So who do you lean on? That's the question. So you've had some crazy good wins. You were telling me a little bit about these earlier, but I would like you to say it. So what have you seen as far as your RTS? What was it? What was a good month? What was your best month? What was your worst month kind of before from RTS standpoint? And what are you averaging now on RTS and your retail to service dollars? That's one of the biggest changes, 85% growth. So what was it? What is it?
That's crazy. It's crazy. So
it's crazy to see it, right?
We were averaging about 8 or 9% when I first met you guys.
Which is not so good. Let's be honest. Right. That's not so good.
It's not so good for salon as a whole, for sure. And then me personally, since I'm still a stylist 4 days a week, I was doing the national average, right, of about 15%. So, I was happy with my performance as far as that, but realizing that I'm telling myself, right? Because
so you're 15, your staff's 8 or 9, you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, so that 9% was mostly me. So my staff wasn't really.
Oh yeah, so you were yeah. So they were averaging like 3. You were averaging 15, so it met in the middle. So what's it like now? 7+ months.
So
what are you guys at?
We are at 18.5%.
Nice. And that's overall salon at 18.5.
Overall salon. Overall.
Right. So overall salon 18.5. And what are you at? What are you roughly doing?
I've been averaging about 21, 22%.
So you're not, and again, you're not I mean, you are helping that average, but you're not like dragging it and keeping the whole thing up there.
Right.
So your overall salon is really up at 18.5. And again, hopefully get you up 20+% because it's totally possible. And again, to your point on national averages, like, 15% is average, but that's because a whole bunch of people are horrible at it, right?
Right.
So
I got goals for myself personally to 30, 35,
Right. So
pretty high service dollar numbers.
And by the way, because people always want to know, how many people are on your staff? How many people are in your salon? Because people are like, oh, what do you got? 5 people in your salon? How many people are in your salon, just so people know?
Okay, so 1,
roughly right now.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active stylists.
Nice. So you have 7 active stylists, including yourself or with yourself as well?
That's including myself.
Right. So you got 7 people in your salon. So it's not like you just got a couple stylists. I mean, you guys really are driving and doing quite a bit. And again, you had mentioned a little bit about what you were doing kind of when we started, what you're doing now as far as revenue. So tell me about that. And again, you don't have to share the revenue if you don't want, but like, what was, what a typical month then versus what is it like now? What's happening in there in the last 7 months?
Well, I can tell you that our best months before I met you guys are just normal.
That's awesome. That's cool. So basically, because I think you were saying, right, like in November, December, those are the months that should have been crazy. Like that's normal now.
Right.
Your crazy over the top months are your normal months and again, are kind of leading in that path. And now you're having, again, massive changes and massive flow in there because it looked like overall you're up, 15, 20% month on month on some of these things and really starting to grow that, which is so big. That's such a huge, huge difference. But again, now, I mean, so I would imagine, I'll just ask generically, but take home income better too, I would hope.
Absolutely.
Take home income is better across the board. And when we first met, because I know you said you've been doing this for 30 years, you met us kind of at the right time because you were open to it. But I got to imagine that when you first met us, there was still probably some apprehension, right? There might have been some objections or some things that you were like, you know what, I'm not really sure if this is right. What were the things you personally struggled with before you worked with us? Because now we're friends, it's fun, we're doing all kinds of cool stuff together. But like in the beginning, what were you the most apprehensive about? What was the holdback?
Well, I mean, when you're broke and can't pay rent, you're real apprehensive about having to pay a new expense, right? So that's
true. Yeah, new outbound expense for sure.
Absolutely. And then the other was I was kind of concerned that it was going to be things I already knew and learn anything kind of new. So it was in the beginning not fast enough. Like, okay, get past that. I need, because I knew that my biggest problem was numbers. I didn't like messing with numbers, didn't want to mess, didn't really understand. Like we have a pretty good POS system and I'd pull a report, and I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. I didn't know what to do with it.
But didn't know what it was. You're like, it looks good.
Okay, it looks good. Looks like I'm just going to go out there and, work a little harder and do a little more hair.
Right. And so what did you find? What did you feel like did you feel like when you came in, you're like, this is a bunch of the same stuff, or what surprised you about it?
Oh no, it was not at all. It was next level for me. It was everything I believed, right? And just better, taking everything. I just love how y'all have been able to take it all and just refine it. And then of course with the numbers things, that was just all new to me. Like I am just soaking that up.
Cool.
There's still, I even know there's still so much more to learn. So it's super exciting to see the results. So like, I can't wait till a crazy month this year. Right?
Till we hit the end of the year and you go, holy crap, this was insane.
Exactly.
What would you say, what's your favorite thing? And I know you haven't been to a live event with us yet. You haven't even been to one of our destination trainings, which usually is people's favorite. But like, what is your favorite thing? What's your favorite resource or your favorite thing that you get out of being in the academy with us?
My favorite thing is the goal setting.
The goal setting, just hands down.
Like tracking, we track it weekly, tracking with the girls, how they've bought into it has been phenomenal. I mean,
do you have any examples of somebody who's really bought into it and got excited?
Yeah, I have one of my stylists is single mom, 4 kids. She's widow actually. young, and she just really kind of let life happen. You know, she didn't really know any other way. And when it was such an eye-opening experience for her to set a goal that she is like blowing our minds what she's doing. She's
so good.
The next month, like she'll do a 10-minute deep conditioner this much for $15, but then turn around and like it's like the teaser for the $50 deep conditioner next month. So go ahead and put it on the book and book it on the books. I mean,
so she's like pre-selling all of her bigger services.
Yes, fantastic. Like her eyes are just open. It's amazing for all of us because there's pressures that have been relieved. We all have more bandwidth. So we're all thinking much more creatively.
Awesome. That's good. That's huge.
Exciting. Yeah, our meetings,
awesome.
Our salon staff meetings are phenomenal. We had pretty good meetings. I always was very proud that our meetings weren't gripe sessions, right?
Yeah, totally.
You know, I love to educate, coaching, and I was an educator for a brand for years, and so I love all that. So I thought my meetings were pretty good, but the plan and that you have given for our staff meetings has been you know, just from bringing in a little breakfast and putting in some fun music and be a little more get to play in a little more when we designed the honor code together.
Yeah.
So much fun, you know, and rather than me just talking and sharing the vision and trying to sell them on it, they're like helping create it.
So good. Yeah, and so what's that done for you? By having your staff engaged and turned around, all that stuff, what's it done for you? How do you feel now?
Well, I mean, it's just like I said, my bandwidth has expanded so much, and I can think more creatively of like how to like bonus them or, you know, putting up wins because I struggled myself.
Totally.
Right? So helping them and you know, putting the wins up on the board in the break room and oh my gosh, like I said, my there's so much, my thoughts get a little.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So let me ask you this. What would you say to somebody that hasn't been in the program yet, but they've got a staff, they're trying to figure out how they can grow, and they're like, I probably know a lot of this stuff too. They probably have the same thoughts you do. What would you have said to yourself, before joining our program? What would you say? Like looking back, if you had to say to yourself, before you joined, what would you say to that person at the time? What would you have said to yourself before you started? Knowing what you know now.
Knowing what I know now. That you can have the dream salon that you always dreamed of. There's a solution for every problem you think you have, because so many of us just kind of settle with that's just the way it is and there's no changing it. But it doesn't have to be a failure or what we think is a failure. I mean, the whole coaching thing, like I tell people all the time, it's like, we get coaches for our kids, we get, but yet we don't get coaches for ourselves.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Athlete, they're paid big bucks, right? They all have coaches.
Yeah.
We should be the first ones with a coach.
Probably. People want to get paid more money, get a coach, probably a good thing to do. So, man, Evelyn, it's been awesome to just chat with you and just kind of hear it. And again, you guys can probably hear and feel Evelyn's energy as you're watching this video, just because, she lights up a room anyway, but like, it's just so funny. Cause like, I remember we were chatting kind of at the beginning and all this stuff is like, you really were in a tight spot and it's so much fun to see you refreshed and renewed and excited and inspired and all those other things that just kind of ooze out of you now when you talk with people. And it's so fun. I'm just so proud of everything that you've done, Evelyn, because, it's one thing to have the information, which we do, and help you to implement it, which we do also, but you've been the one who has really taken the step up. And I just want, out of this entire thing, to just celebrate the work that you've put in. The time that you spent with your team, the way in which you work with your team is just powerful because, like, I can't be there to do it for you. You've done all the work. We've just kind of given you the means to make it happen. So congratulations on what is going to be probably your best year ever, and having just really some profound impact on the people you work with. So congratulations, Evelyn. You're doing awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so much. And I'm super, super grateful for you guys.
It's our pleasure. So, if you guys are watching this and you want to get more information about our High Performance Salon Academy that Evelyn is a part of, would you guys do me a favor in the comment section below, just say High Performance Academy, or just say the word Academy in the comment section, or you can visit highperformancesalonacademy.com and apply to get some information about how the Academy can work for your salon and have more success. Just like Evelyn here, whether you are struggling, you need to make it better, or if you're already doing better, but you just want to go to the next level. So Evelyn, thank you so much for being on with me today. It has been my pleasure to hang out with you, kick it, and hear more about your story. So thank you so much, Evelyn.
Thank you.
All right.